The other day, Taylor Swift was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, as I like to mention, also joining the ranks of Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler and various other cultural...
You can't mention him.
You can't mention him. Other culturally influential people in American history, actually world history, I suppose. And after the naming of her as Person of the Year, Taylor Swift ignited a bunch of what they call far-right conspiracy theories related to her relationship to the Church of Satan and various other things.
Yes. And earlier in the week, we did talk about a clip of Taylor Swift at a concert that went viral because she appeared to be performing on top of a black cube, which has many esoteric, conspiratorial associations with it. And now, according to Rolling Stone, Taylor Swift's Time cover is breaking far-right brains. Her success is throwing right-wingers into a conspiracy theory frenzy.
Yeah. Hold on quick. There's a $20 super chat here from Crispy Like Transport LLC. Says, when is Libby going to get a Madden football account to play me online? I don't who that kid was in my high school years. His face would have beat up my hands.
What?
I read it how it was said. I'm guessing he says, I don't know who that kid was in my high school years. His face
From
would
the
have
cringe,
beat
I guess?
up my hands.
Okay.
I mean, it's clearly a troll, right? And
So what they cite here as crazy far-right conspiracies about Taylor Swift is firstly from End Wokeness, a far-right account with nearly 2 million followers, crediting Swift with having enough Riz to convince a cult-like following to drink poisoned Kool-Aid for her. In the same post, the account prophesied that her next step would be politics, adding, if you don't think the regime has plans to weaponize her just in time for 2024, you clearly have not been paying attention. And the idea that the Democratic Party is going to use celebrities to get cultural sway is not a conspiracy. It's something that they've done before.
Sure, Paris Hilton, the whole rock the vote thing with Madonna, that was like a big deal
nonstop.
And
in the 90s. That was a whole thing.
The conservatives had the lame redeem the vote, and then they wonder why they can't win any
And
elections.
Cardi B
have bad culture.
Yeah,
Cardi
exactly.
B being the only person who was allowed to interview Biden running up to the 2020 election.
Or remember like how Lady Gaga was like walking around with Joe Biden and she treated him like an elderly grandpa.
Oh, I mean,
and
that's
she
what he is.
I know, but she was like, oh, you got this. You could get through. You could walk over here. And she's like walking in her big heels and he's just tottering along. And
But also
ridiculous.
remember, I mean, they use them in less obvious ways, right? So they had a bunch of celebrities come to the White House for discussing mental health as it's portrayed in entertainment, where they had Ted Lasso and a bunch of other celebrities who had shows that revolved around the topic. They know how to use the sway of celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the problem, though, where if you're a conservative and you're a celebrity, you tend to be like, I'm a conservative. I'm a celebrity. You know, you like don't speak out. You don't say anything about it.
Yep.
People are afraid to.
Right-wing celebrities have to go into politics, and left-wing celebrities are safe in their own industry so they can stay there.
Yeah, right-wing celebrities usually just have to keep their mouth shut and hope to keep their job.
Yeah, so they also mentioned Jack Posobiec's tweet, which we read the other day. The Taylor Swift girl boss psyop has been fully activated, from her hand-selected vaccine shill boyfriend, Travis Kelce, to her dink lifestyle, to her upcoming 2024 voter operation for Democrats on abortion rights. It's all coming. Do you agree with that?
Jack actually did a great episode the other day on Human Events Daily with Evita Duffy, who's at the Federalist, and they dug into this whole crazy thing.
The story of her and Soros is from like 3 years ago.
Right.
Though. Like that was like, I saw people talking about it the other day. One of the things I find really interesting is how stories just resurface every couple of years. Kind of like how after, what was the publication that went out of business recently that did the article about why it's okay to hit
Jezebel.
men? Like every few years.
Yeah.
But before that happened, what happens is like there's no dates on these things. So stories will reappear through the algorithm. And then you have to like...
Yeah, that happened recently. There was so there was all this trouble in Ireland about immigration and whatnot. And there's a hate speech law that they've been working on for a while. And so suddenly the next thing you know, this clip of an Irish Green Party senator starts making the rounds. And she's talking about the hate speech law. And everyone's like, watch this, Irish senator who doesn't care about free speech. And it started going viral and everything. And I was like, wait. And somebody on my team was like, we should write that up. And I was like, wait a minute. We did write that up. We wrote that up in June when it happened. And so we reposted the story and everyone was like, wait, this was in June? And it's like, yeah, stop listening to literally everybody who is just trying to get their Twitter money.
I got a $30 super chat real quick from I Am What I Am. Like the new Crisis Party, free mocha.
The cat will never be free.
Oh,
the
can
cat
I just say, I'm never going to get Madden. I'm never going to play it.
There you go.
Yeah,
never
just to address that.
But the problem
I
is,
just wanted to
lay
bring
that to
up.
rest.
with these stories, what we call resurfacing, right? That's the joke. The
Yes.
clip resurfaces a time when it's beneficial for whoever the people are that make the clip resurface. There really is no distinguishable difference anymore between time in these things. It is almost like news is omnipresent. As long as people are talking about it, it's news.
I saw that Lauren Southern also referenced that Taylor Swift is actually secretly our ally because she hates the Soros family. And the truth is that Taylor Swift doesn't hate the Soros family. She just hates that George Soros was somewhat affiliated with the decision for her losing the rights to her music. And she'll hate anyone that double crosses her.
So what did she do? She got the rights back, but then had to re-record it all?
She did not get the rights back to her original recordings. She just has the ability to re-record, which they're going to stop other artists from doing in the future. Yep. And it benefited her immensely, obviously.
So that's why she released all the same records again.
Yes. She can make money off those ones.
Do you think fans bought all the new records?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They were the best-selling albums this year.
Really?
And also one of the selling points to give them an incentive to listen to the new ones is she adds the vault tracks that were unreleased from previous albums. So they get something new as well as the old stuff. They also, Rolling Stone published an article called Trump Could Tap a Taylor Swift Conspiracy Theorist as Attorney General report. And their evidence for this is that Stephen Miller tweeted, what's happening with Taylor Swift is not organic. That's literally all he said, and that gives them grounds to call him a Taylor Swift truther.
I love it.
That's so funny.
I hope to one day be labeled some type of truther.
Just some type.
I don't know. I'm
just
not
like anything.
Literally, I'm not a 9/11 truther. I'm not a Taylor Swift truther. I'm not a COVID maybe I'm a COVID truther. I don't know. I got to be some kind of truther.
You could be a COVID truther. You could just decide right now.
I got to work on that.
Right?
You got a $20 from Alex.
It was a lab leak.
Is it just me or is everyone else exhausted about all the celebrity opinions about everything? I know I'm 22, but I feel like before social media became huge in 2013, the only place that cared was TMZ and maybe MS Media.
Women cared.
You'd be incorrect.
Women...
No,
tabloids were a thing.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere all the time, except instead of being on social media, we had all of these TV shows in the daytime that would have celebrities on, and these TV shows would start at 6 in the morning. And they would have celebrities, and they would go until until they the networks played the national anthem and put up a picture of the flag before they went off air.
People have always been.
They always
at
cared.
least somewhat interested.
There used to be this show called Donahue, right? Because I am way older than everybody. So they used to have this show called Donahue that my stepmother used to watch, and she was very into this show Donahue, and he would always have celebrities on. And then the next person who got the mantle of that show was Oprah. So Donahue preceded Oprah.
Yeah.
But it was basically the same show, except it was a white guy and that was a black lady.
And back then, it is fair to say that they were probably kept in line by their agents better, and they weren't just spouting off their opinions about every single thing that mattered. You were being fed these questions on a network that had billions of dollars invested in all of these properties concurrently, so they had to make sure that everything fell into the line of what was considered socially acceptable. Nobody seems to hold the celebrities, to account for all of their crazy opinions.
Well, the other thing too is that media also wouldn't report on everything.
Yeah.
It turns out that everybody knew that JFK was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe and that he had all these affairs and stuff.
Yeah.
And the media just never reported on it. But they all knew. They just didn't say anything. They figured that wasn't their job. And you would also have the White House being don't report on that. And the media would be okay, because it's for the national interest.
Right.
And now
that doesn't really happen as much now.
And now there is no such thing as a weekly news cycle. It's an instant news cycle, 24 hours
it's
a day.
Not even 24 hours. It's
instantly.
10 minutes. It keeps
kind
getting
of what
shorter.
allows this show to even exist as it does 5 days a week, because there is always something to talk about.
Literally,
there's always something cycling through.
There have been a couple of. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love Ian here. We love Ian. Let's go. Sure. But there have been a couple of dry spells where like we've had periods of time where maybe we just we couldn't find stuff that wasn't necessarily the most interesting. But what I've noticed is like most of our announcements and stuff go in the pre-show segment where it's like industry news, things that are coming out, and then the stuff that we're talking about in the segments tends to be more esoteric. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that fits as
Things
well
like
into a
this.
headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've also cited a tweet from Jeffrey Clark, the former Trump DOJ official. He added, "This is what happens when we cede culture to the left, brainless youth raising themselves on Taylor Swift's saccharine bland music, and that washing over into the serious world of politics." That's so self-indulgent
Can
to
they
call
explain
the
to
world
me-
of politics serious. Like, it's obviously a
It's
joke.
not.
It's a clown show.
George
just as
Santos-
much as the celebrity world is.
George Santos exists.
Like, you can't say that. Trump became president. You can't call the world of politics serious anymore.
Also, I would love for them to provide me an example of what they think the counter, what their like counter to the art would be. What is the less vapid art that they're going to create going to be? Pop music has always been pop music. That's not changing anytime soon.
The thing is, they don't know, right?
Yeah.
They don't know. And he's right that the right wing has ceded culture to the left, but that's because culture was the left's purview.
Always was.
And that was okay until it started being completely ideologically driven. And they came up with this idea that all artists have to be activists or their art isn't worthwhile. And that went from the grad schools up into Hollywood. You know, I mean, that's where it is now. That's where it landed. So, you know, like a lot of the people I went to grad school with doing theater ended up in Hollywood writing ideological driven content.
And I guess it is fair to point out that maybe it was a little bit different, right? So the liberal of 50 years ago is infinitely more conservative than the
liberal of 50 years ago was liberal.
Yes.
And the liberal of right now is a fascist.
He also said, if we reach the point where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Taylor Swift run for office together, we will have truly reached full-on idiocracy.
Ronald Reagan was already the president. Donald Trump was already the president. Arnold Schwarzenegger was already a governor. Like, this is not new.
Yeah.
You're just now infinitely more connected to the internet, so you're being bombarded by news and information 24/7. Your brain, my brain, everyone's brain wasn't designed to handle that, ladies and gentlemen.
I think everyone just forgets what happened before.
Like with those people, like they're
Like
just
with
short
everything.
attention
Like
spans.
everyone just
Yeah.
totally forgets. Like we were inundated with celebrity nonsense for my entire life, for sure. And it was true before that. Like that's just been true.
There's a $20 super chat here from Baron of Gray Matter. Says, do you know how to pronounce that? I don't know how to pronounce
Dick
the first.
Cavett?
And Merv Griffin. Ooh, I haven't heard
Dick
of him.
Cavett.
Yep.
Cavett?
Merv Griffin. Hey, Libby. Good seeing ya. I'm old enough to have watched all of those. Happy weekend and be well. Trump Tucker 2024.
Did you see Give Me a Break? Did you remember Nell Carter?
Trump Tucker 2024.
Melania wants that. Melania wants the Trump Tucker ticket.
Oh, Jesse Ventura. As a Minnesotan, Jesse Ventura. Fantastic. Listening to Jesse Ventura talk about 9/11. Maybe I am a 9/11 truther. Never mind. Maybe I'll do a bonus episode someday where I can I would love to do a thing where I react to old Jesse Ventura interviews. He was hilarious.
Ooh, that would be fun.
He was hilarious.
That would
Okay.
be a good show.
Let's get to the serious stuff, though,
Yes.
because, I mean, Taylor Swift being used as a political operative for the Democrats. Boring, and we already know that that's true. It's not a conspiracy. The conspiracy I have subscribed to is the belief that Taylor Swift is actually secretly the daughter of Zena LaVey, a high priestess of the Church of Satan, and the daughter of Anton LaVey, its founder.
I've put the picture up on screen so that people can see it.
And if you look at the two of them and look at any images of Zena LaVey that are available online, you will see it is a spitting image, like an incredible doppelganger if it is just that. I mean, they look like twins. It looks like... Do you not agree?
No, they do.
It's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any actual evidence of this besides the fact that they're lookalikes.
I watched a little video on this yesterday, actually. It's funny that you bring this up.
Did you see
They do
anything
look
that
similar.
links them besides that they look alike?
No. I did not.
Well, this says the evidence is hard to shake off, but this is the theory.
There was a little video. Is the video in here?
Or it's not that she's necessarily Zena LaVey's daughter, but that she is an Illuminati clone made from Zena LaVey's DNA.
Yes!
Maybe she was born to a surrogate pig. Remember Dolly, the cloned sheep? Oh, that was a cloned sheep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe she was born to a surrogate sheep.
There was an episode of The X-Files back in the first season called Eve, and it's all about eugenics and these two daughters that have been cloned, and it's so weird thinking about how much the public sentiment behind those notions has changed in the last 20 years, given the...
You think people are more in favor of it now?
I think they are. I think with with surrogacy becoming as common as it is and all these things, that the term still holds a whole lot of negativity behind it, but the idea that we've gone beyond just the traditional human birth, I don't think that's something that anyone would deny. I think we've found infinitely more ways to do this than we had just 20, 30 years ago. Right?
Okay.
She's a clone.
This says that Zena LaVey was the high priestess of the Church of Satan from 1985 to 1990. Suspicious because Taylor Swift talks a big game about being born in 1989. Naming her album 1989 is clearly her desperate attempt to emphasize that she had a normal human birth and was not cultivated in a cauldron and or laboratory. The whole thing reeks of a cover-up.
Well, who is Taylor Swift's mom?
Well, her mom is, like, she does make public appearances and they do look alike, but she looks way more like Zena LaVey than the woman who claims to be her real mother. So I don't know.
It couldn't just be that she was born that year. It has to be that she was born in a cauldron and she was created in a cauldron.
It is kind of incredible that someone as strikingly gorgeous as Taylor Swift could come from such average-looking parents. When you look at pictures of her parents, they just look totally normal.
They just look normal.
Yeah, they're not particularly attractive people, and Taylor is just like a 10 out of 10 beauty. It's weird, right?
I don't think it's that weird.
Not really. No. I don't think that's all.
I haven't known many examples of that in my personal life.
I've seen that.
I've never seen pictures of her parents when they were young. Like, what do they look like when they were younger?
They could have just had some hard living.
Yeah. They had to raise an annoying pop star.
And you did also send me this tweet about it. People are talking about it more recently. Is Taylor Swift the daughter of Zena LaVey? Hashtag we want answers. Hashtag Taylor Swift. Hashtag Swifties for Palestine.
Swifties for Palestine.
I love it.
And there are theories that Taylor Swift has done witchcraft rituals at her concerts, that she may have sold her soul to the devil for her extreme success. And it is unprecedented, her having this resurgence in her career at 33. The music industry isn't known for that level of longevity in anyone's career.
That is
They
true.
just have a new crop of people in their late teens, early 20s. They throw them into the fire. Some of them will survive. Most of them fall into obscurity. And Taylor Swift is now at the peak of her career.
Had like her dad. It's kind of like Beyonce with her music producer dad, right? Like when you've got more infrastructure built into your childhood that actually keeps you in the industry, that makes a little bit more sense, right? Plus,
Taylor's story is she has a hedge fund investor father and a marketing executive mother.
What was her big break?
I guess she just told her parents, like, this is my dream, and they moved to Nashville for her. So they dropped everything for her career and became her biggest promoters.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.